Glad everybody's in a cheery mood this morning. Welcome to the July 20th, 2026 Commissioners meeting. There are Title VI forms in the back corner by the door if you would like to fill one of those out and return it to the auditor's office. Mike Snyder, can you please, hey Mike, can you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And Brian, can you lead us in prayer?
Heavenly Father, we come here before you today and just ask for your guidance and wisdom as we do make decisions for Decatur County. We thank you for our citizens. We thank you for this great nation you've offered us. And we just ask all these things in your name. Amen.
Amen. All right, we do have Gabe on virtually. So we'll start first with the review of the July 16th meeting minutes. Anything, Brian?
I didn't see anything, any errors. Looks like I would make a motion to accept these minutes.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to the claims. Any questions on claims?
No, there was a couple about one about the Greg Martz.
Yeah, the GM
But that was the ready funds for the finishing up of the fairground project.
Yeah, we have, it's a $212,000 claim. I think we have a little over $100,000 left on the fairgrounds project.
Okay.
And that's being paid from the community foundation through the private funds that have been donated to the project.
Okay, that was my only question, so I would make a motion to accept claims.
I'll second that. Oh, there you go, Gabe. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to payroll for the, week of July 17, 2026, in the amount of $433,014.74. Any questions on payroll?
No, I'd make a motion to accept payroll.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? Motion carries. All right, up first, we have Tim Ortman from the Highway Department.
On Tim?
Enterprise, they was here last meeting. Of course, we approved the purchase and everything. There was a discrepancy on the interest. So the way this is going to be handled is it'll be like our large trucks. We do it. The chassis will be ordered, come in. We will pay for the chassis, accept the chassis, and then we'll pay for the upfront separately. So there will be no interest or anything, any additional cost or anything. Do it that way.
But they'll still outfit.
They'll still outfit, do everything. The way it was, what was in question is them purchasing the chassis,
Right.
them coming in and getting upfitted, and the time they was out of that money for that chassis to the upfit till we take delivery time is what they was concerned about interest on. So the large trucks, we take the chassis, inspect chassis, approve the chassis, pay for the chassis, and then the upfit separately. Same cost, there'll just be two claims. Be a claim for the chassis, be a claim for the upfit is what it'll be. Same cost and all in the end. So we got that worked through. The large trucks, we anticipate quotes start coming back in 2 to 3 weeks. Community crossing grant has been announced, so September's the deadline for it. So we'll be turning in for chip and seal application again, is what we'll be turning in for. Currently, we're doing our PACER ratings. So, and then the PACER ratings and the asset management plan has to be due in December. So we'll be working on that. SC Construction did complete all their chip and seal portion, everything. Fairgrounds out there by the ball diamonds, they ended up donating that fog seal application and gave us an invoice paid in full. So appreciate them doing that.
Just the fogging.
Just the fog seal of 200 West, yes.
Not the striping.
No, that's a separate company.
Okay.
So, and they'll be here in about 2 weeks. Lawyer will be do that. We also have them restriping in front of Love's Truck Stop where it's so faded out there. We have them doing that also when they come in.
Are we sending that to the state?
No, they'll be just our portion.
Okay.
They'll just be striping our portion, not the state's portion.
Okay.
Yes. So that's that. Evergreen, they're here to mobilize August the 5th for the chip and seal and the community crossing grant portion of it. Continue to work with Mike on the FEMA stuff, that documentation, getting it together, and et cetera for that. 600 South, since they opened that culvert down there by the county line on 421,
Yep.
600 South is no longer an official detour since that project's complete.
Okay.
So we'll go ahead and have O'Mara give a quote for the state to go ahead and fix that, pay to fix it, but we have to have an official quote for that. So we'll get that taken care of, get that submitted to them, hopefully get that.
700 east,
For 600 South.
600 south.
700 East is still ongoing
Okay,
through it. We're working with the state on that. 600 South will be complete. They want to complete the project before they pay for the whole reimbursement, is what it does. So, yes.
all right.
So 600 South
700
will be the one, huh?
But 700 east is still,
Yeah, it's still
on the
there.
horizon.
It's still on there and everything, but it's still part of the unofficial detour through the next two projects even.
okay,
So, yes.
all right.
So, I don't know if you've seen or not, the I-74 project, they're gonna be closing the westbound,
Yep.
which is gonna make traffic 421 even worse, because everybody gets out there, if they can't get on westbound, they're gonna stay 421 now,
Well, I sent an email to Mike
okay?
at NDOT, and I haven't gotten no reply
Okay,
from him about setting up a meeting to discuss that again. I'm going to send him another one.
okay.
And I'm guessing you haven't heard anything either.
I have not heard anything. So, you want me to try to reach out some
Yeah.
more contacts?
I mean,
Yeah.
this is a whole new element.
Yes,
We had our previous meeting based on just the increase in traffic based on the construction that was on 74, and now you're closing down a major artery for how people can actually
Yeah.
go westbound.
yes, and,
I mean, it's a whole nother part of this. that
yes.
They are not recognizing the continued damage to 421, not even the end result where we have to go in and fix the road at
Right.
the end. It's the continuing repair right now.
So I'll reach out, find some other contacts, be in contact. I'll
I
get a
think
meeting set up.
we need to push that a little
Yep.
harder than what we're doing right now.
Okay, I'll work on that.
Okay,
So road salt, we was able to get road salt through Morton Salt, $137 a ton. So we had over 300 ton for,
what is that price compared to what we've been
we
paying?
were given like 120 before treated salt. So this is 137 non-treated salt is what it is. So we will, and that is on summer delivery. So we'll start taking delivery here in a week or two for that price. So the other thing of our bridge maintenance program, there was 12 structures within our bridge maintenance program that was identified in our inspection of having voids here behind the wall and the approach slab, et cetera, et cetera. So we brought a company in called Geostabilization. They gave us a quote. It's about $80,000 to come in and pump them voids full. So we'll be working with United Consulting, make sure we got a workable game plan. The end result's gonna fix it, but we're proceeding in that direction to get.
It's a temporary fix, temporary fix.
Actually, they're actually pressure in it. They will drill holes and pressure inject everything back behind it, fill all the voids in, pressurized. So, yeah, so it should be a permanent type fix.
Okay,
Is it being caused though by flooding, rain,
so the-
Erosion.
runoff?
There's various things. One could be that, riprap, some as simple as groundhogs digging under and causing the void to get started and water to infiltrate. So there's many different things, settlement. There's many different causes that caused them. Yeah, we just need to address them.
Right, yeah, because I mean, if there's still an issue with what's causing it, we can
Yeah.
go in and fix this, but it's just going to erode a different section of it.
Nope, and that's the reason with this company, they got a couple different ways to do it, a couple different products. So yeah, it'll be a permanent type fix.
SC Construction,
Yes.
any complaints on the chip and seal and fog?
I did not. I mean, I thought they did a very good job again.
Just some minor things of leaving gravel along the roadways into people where they're mowing the road ditches. Those are some things I've heard.
Yeah, and I mean, it's kind of, we can't really get away from it unless we go ahead and bid it to them to pick up or reclaim the stone, which gets a lot more expensive if you go and actually reclaim it
Yeah.
versus, and they need to take that loose stone off the road, because what happens is that loose stone laying on top of the stone that's embedded, when the tires hit that loose stone, you'll actually knock more stones loose, keep knocking more loose, so they need to broom it off to stop that degradation. So yeah, I feel there's a minimum amount compared to usual. I mean, what it used to be.
Okay,
I don't think there's a whole lot. If there's a lot, there's an excessive someplace, let us know. We'll try to address it.
I haven't heard any complaints. I would tell you, Brian, probably the first year that I sat up here that we did chip and seal, I don't remember who it was that did that compared to what we've had SC the last 2 years.
Last year, I didn't hear anything.
It's-
This year, I heard a couple of
Yeah.
people griping about stone in their,
I mean, if it's successful, let us know. We'll try to go do what we can to do to address
Okay.
it. I mean, yes.
Yeah, but from what I've seen, they've done a good job.
okay.
All right, thank you, Tim.
Thanks, Tim.
Sheriff Myros.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Sir.
So just for the record, all I have this morning is, there is a commissary report for the second quarter of this year
Thank you, Sheriff.
for your review.
I appreciate the information. Nothing else, Sheriff?
Yes, sir.
All right, Doug Westerfeld, APC.
Good morning. I've got one file that I need your signature for rezone from APC petition. This is petition 2026-15 for Blake, Haley, and Alan Bryant to rezone property 2.99 acres to build a primary residence.
Thank you, sir. Looks like all members of the APC that were present voted in favor. It looks like there were 2 that were not present.
What's the location of this, Doug?
This property is down on southeast,
That's-
60, right there by the Conservation Club.
Okay.
They're right on the corner.
500 south.
500 and
Yeah.
Millhausen Road.
Yep, 500 Millhouse
Were there any questions or concerns from the APC?
Road. No, there was not. And there was no, anyone from around that area that came to
Any,
concerns.
anyone present wants to voice comment on this petition 2026-15, the rezoning for 2.99 acres? All right, I'd entertain a motion.
So moved.
I'll second that motion to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Doug.
And I also wanted to give an update on the comp plan. On Thursday, we had a steering committee meeting where we received the draft. We went through that chapter by chapter on Thursday to make edits. We made several edits, and those are going to go back for revisions, and then we'll meet again once those occur. The date for that to be sent to the public has not been determined yet.
Okay.
So once those edits are completed, then we'll put it out on the Facebook page as well as the website, which is plaindecaturcounty.com.
What did your edits look like? Did you have a lot of them, or was it a,
We had several, yeah. So we had several, and had a lot of good discussion. Some of the other steering committee members are here as well, and I felt like we had a lot of good discussion and was able to talk through those edits and those concerns.
okay,
A lot of it that I saw, Brian, was things even as word choice. Like the one that's coming to mind right now is when a petition is filed with the APC or the BZA, it can either be called the approval process or the review process. Approval implies that it's going to be granted. I preferred review
process.
process over
Okay.
approval. I think that it's better that way. It's not implying anything for any particular project or petition. It appeared to me that there were some discrepancies in the preference of different things in the county from one section to another, so I think that's going to get straightened out.
We needed to clear up some contradictions from
Yeah.
one parts of the plan to the other parts of the plan.
Yep. But I think overall it's very good.
Very good.
That's all I have.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, Doug.
Thank you, Doug. All right, Jeremiah McAdams, Court Services.
Good morning. I just came to ask Commissioner's approval and signature to apply for a grant. We plan to apply for a small grant from the Decatur County Community Foundation in the amount of $2,000. That grant, we plan to use it to kind of get a kickstart on us purchasing and providing some incentives and encouragement for people who are involved with court services. By doing this, hopefully this would encourage these participants to continue to be successful and to provide different things to remove barriers for them. We also plan to use it for what we're calling right now a wall of change, to celebrate kind of those who excel in our programs and return to the community and show that kind of the stuff worked and change happens. Any questions?
No, very good.
No.
I'll make a motion that we approve Court Services applying for the grant.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And I will also approve that. Anybody opposed? Motion carries.
Thanks, Jeremiah.
Thanks, Jeremiah. Okay, moving on to the topic, the Flat Rock River presentation.
Andy?
Should be a copy of the PowerPoint. Got a short presentation.
Thank you, Andy.
There aren't any cords back here to hook up the computer. Do I need to have?
Wi-Fi, and said you have to have a code.
It pops up on here.
It'll pop up on there.
All right.
So I invited Christy Johnson and Bella Foster
Yes.
from the DNR. They've worked with these watershed development commissions in a few other counties. They are a little different than regulated drains, and I just invited them back here to better explain the process, what it involves. As I mentioned before, this would be, I think, a 7-county seven counties would be involved. Also got the Rush County surveyor here, Ryan Miller, and county surveyor, commissioner from Rush County.
Are you allowed to be down here?
I'm gonna just turn it over to them, let them better explain everything to you guys.
Get close. Are you IT, Deb?
She's doing great. Love it. Usually it's the reverse.
Just enough to be dangerous. Full disclosure.
Just. It's up here.
I was looking around for IT. I didn't see anybody.
Yeah.
They're listening.
That was funny.
They are listening.
They're awesome. They're awesome.
Oh, there goes the
He
phone.
just- yep,
He
he
just, right there.
Did he?
Yes.
You need to be on the Wi-Fi in the meeting room.
Well, we were.
Okay, let me see.
I
what
don't
this other
have
is.
it.
She doesn't have
Pro.
ShareLink Pro to get in.
Yeah, so this is.
Doug went to get our laptop.
Stupid computer that doesn't work.
We can come back. Dave said he's on his way over here, and
I was gonna say, let's go down to the next.
yeah, we'll come back to that one so that
That's all right, it's good.
one of our IT guys can get over here, and we'll get you hooked up there. All right, covered bridge recertification. All right, so we have a covered bridge recertification here that reads, "We, the county commissioners of Decatur County, hereby certify that the aforementioned is the true number of covered bridges in said county," and so we have it listed as 1. And that is all that I'm aware of. So,
Westport's?
Yep.
Yep.
so
What are we certifying? That we have one?
it's a certification for the state.
Okay,
Yeah, and that's,
that's it?
yeah.
All right. To do it every year. We make a motion for that, or?
Yep.
I'll make a motion to certify our one covered bridge in Decatur County.
All right, I'll second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And those opposed? Motion carries.
I can take care of some like these other topics
Yep.
before you get to that.
Thanks, sir. We're gonna come back and we'll hit the data center moratorium topic as well. So we're gonna come down to the 2027 salary budget review. I know Christy had sent us all of the proposed budgets from the different departments in the county. I guess we have to say if we have any questions, recommendations.
Salaries, on the salary portion.
Anything on that?
If you want to recommend anything to the council.
My recommendation is that we, at a minimum, give a 3% pay raise to our employees. We have folks that work hard, and when you look at what inflation is, or has been over the last year, we've seen over a 5% increase in inflation. So even at 3%, we aren't keeping up, but we need to do something for our people.
Okay, got it down, thank you.
I would second that, absolutely. I think our employees are our most valuable resource here in Decatur County, and I would, anything we can do for benefits or that falls within that we can afford, I think that 3% at a minimum for a salary increase. But I'm also, not against looking at other types of benefits and/or raise within that structure too.
Okay.
And just to be clear, when we're requesting, or when we're making that recommendation, in our budget session, the commissioners are not taking a pay raise, so we aren't including ourselves in that recommendation. All right, are you up? All right, let's do it.
Yeah, so, like Andy said earlier, he just invited us just to kind of give you information. We're here to provide you information so you can make the best decision for your community. We are in no way saying, hey, you have to do this. It's just an option you have. So watershed development commissions. We currently have 5 in the northern part of the state and 1 in the southern part of the state. The 5 in the northern part were created in the 1980s all the way up to 2019. And 2 of them have transitioned into the Development Commission. So they have a taxing authority, and then the one that's down near Evansville, the Pigeon Creek, that is the only one that's been established under this new statute. Just to kind of give you a brief overview. And as of right now, there aren't any created in Flat Rock, so you guys would be doing that and you're all set. So just to give you a brief background, this was passed in 2023. It's fairly new. Only Pigeon Creek has done it. And this allows local officials, you guys, to create an entity with taxing authority for beneficial water management activities. It's organized at a HUC 8 scale. A HUC 8 is a hydrologic unit code. It's basically just a watershed area that they decided is the best for the state of Indiana to do the activities to coordinate with other counties. It's not too big and it's not too small. The state of California is a HUC 2. Meanwhile, like the city of Beech Grove would be a HUC 16. So they vary in sizes. And so you can't overlap with an existing commission. You guys, like I said earlier, are fine. And this is created and run by elected officials. Some of the things you guys can address is flood damage reduction. You guys can coordinate with your MS4 communities and do a stormwater management plan. And you can do water quality improvements, water infrastructure. There is an asterisk next to the water quality improvements because you can't enforce them. However, you can try your hardest to help your water quality in your area by reducing sediment and nutrients going into your watershed. Now, these commissions, once you actually establish them, some of the things you guys can do is studies. So you guys, if you were to create one, you'd have to have a watershed management plan for your area, and obviously that includes a study. You'd figure out what's going on, what are your priorities, how are you going to address this. You can fund gauges. So right now, Pigeon Creek, they are doing a USGS gauge. You can help reestablish wetlands and create floodplain storage and reconnect some of them so that you can address your flooding situation easier. You can also maintain levees, berms, dams, log jams are always a popular thing that reoccur. Bank stabilization and stream modifications. Also, a rare thing that some commissions have done in the past is bridge removal and replacement. If it's causing flooding, you can take that bridge away and replace it with something that's not so small. It's today's standards. Now, how to form one. You at least have to have a 10% of the surface in the watershed. Your county has around 6, but there is a little asterisk for less than 10. So I'll get there. You guys, the county commissioners, would have to submit an ordinance that meets the statutory requirements. The Natural Resources Commission will review the submission and approve or deny. They went ahead and delegated this to the Division of Water, so me and Christy would be helping you with this, based on a series of factors that is outlined in the statute. That being said, what you would need to provide or prove is you need to name the watershed. You guys are in the Flat Rock Haw. You'd have to name your purposes, what you want to address, and then all the counties who are also interested would get together and kind of compile all the past things that you guys have done. So your county highway department, your drainage board, all these past projects that you've done to address needs that you already have, that's evidence to support a need for a commission. You need to explain how it's actually going to address these needs, kind of give us a budget, a little bit of an idea of what you're going to be doing, and then letters of support from other community leaders are never going to hurt your case. So for this ordinance that you guys would have to write, if you have at least 10%, you'd have to say, here's the watershed, the surface water outlet, you include the boundaries in and out of the county, the designated purposes, and how the county needs would be addressed with the membership of this Watershed Development Commission. Now, if you guys have less than 10%, which you do, Decatur does, in this specific one, you may write to join an already existing Watershed Development Commission. Now, in your guys' case, we don't want to go through this twice. We can, in the ordinance originally, if Henry and Rush, for example, wanted to do it, we could have them right in there. Any county later on wanting to join that has less than 10%, we will pre-approve their membership. So we don't have to go through this whole circus again, right? So they are funded through an annual special assessment up to a certain amount that is only outlined in this statute. So this statute has its own amounts that people would be paying. Now, counties can reduce the tax amount depending on the needs of the Watershed Development Commission. So a few of the Watershed Development Commissions up north, they're only kind of in maintenance mode, so they're not collecting the maximum amount. They can reduce it by a percentage across the board for all the people that are being assessed. You may also decide to not to assess the individual person, but can use other funding mechanisms, and you can ask direct member counties for direct support, and it has to equal at least 90% of what you would have collected from an assessment. And because these commissions are a type of governmental entity, they can apply and receive grants and loans and things of that nature. Now, there is a little bit of a gray area in this statute we want to make you aware of. The author of this statute said the intent was for parcels not to get double taxed by a Watershed Development Commission and a legal drain. However, this is a watershed. A legal drain may only be in one part of your watershed, and you can still do things that address the entirety of the area we're focusing on. So if you, for example, wanted to have a cost share program for your MS4 communities, you wanted to do stormwater management, or other things of that nature that a legal drain cannot do, you can still do this. And so we tried to follow up with State Board of Accounts, and they said it'd be unknown to them if you could or couldn't. So consult with a lawyer. That is our recommendation. So funding cap. So this is where people are really interested in because this is the money. This is what you'd be getting. And this is the maximum amount per year. So if you're a resident living in this area, if you wanted to charge the max amount, it'd be $7. Ag is $1, and so on and so forth.
$7 per acre.
$7 per parcel.
Per
So
parcel.
residential is $7 per parcel per year. Maximum amount.
But on agriculture,
It'd be $1 an acre, yes.
and so if you have a property that is 200 acres, that
Yes.
is very long and skinny and only has 20 foot along the river, you're
And that's
gonna-
only if it's in the watershed.
okay. So it is,
If it
you're,
gets cut off with boundaries.
right, where I guess are you defining that? Or is that just what this is through the ordinance, that we would then have to draw lines for what's specifically falling into?
I'll let Christine.
Because the reason I ask is,
Oh,
I have
yeah.
the floodplain map up here, and, I mean, when you look at areas here in Decatur County, we have very, very few homes that are actually in what would be considered floodplain.
So it's not to just deal with the floodplain. It is the watershed boundary. It's a Huck 8, so it's your Flat Rock Haw. You have about 6% of your county in the Flat Rock Haw watershed.
Right.
So,
Those boundaries are determined by USGS.
Do you have those boundaries with you?
I do have a picture of it in a few slides.
Okay.
So, like I said earlier, if you didn't want to assess the entire amount, if you only wanted 80%, that's my example, it's a 20% reduction. Someone for an entire year would be paying $5.06 if they were a residential homeowner. If they were an ag owner, they'd be 80 cents an acre. And then public utility, 288, just to give you an example. So, governance, who would be serving on this board? There'd be a designatee of the DNR, and then each county would have 3 different members. You'd have the surveyor, you'd have a second county representative, and then an individual appointed to represent a second-class city. If there isn't a second-class city, it'd be the municipality with the highest population. And once this board is established, they have to appoint an executive director. Now, these commissions have their own powers, and they have to obviously accomplish work for each purpose that they were established for. You can set the voluntary water quality goals, like I mentioned, reducing nutrient runoff and groundwater contamination as just a few ideas. You can participate in the flood control program, acquire land easements, and you have the exclusive authority to perform in the main channel of the watershed and the area extending 75 feet from the top of each bank.
Isn't that last part, though, part of what DNR's responsibilities are? I mean, we're talking about rivers here that are, public waterways. So isn't that what DNR's responsibility is already?
Not necessarily.
To maintain the rivers?
And in the state of Indiana, we have riparian rights, so typically you have the actual landowners that own the rivers, so therefore they're responsible for taking care of the river on their person.
Okay, so then with going in and removing dams,
70
Depends on who owns the dam.
70% of the dams in the state of Indiana are privately owned.
including like all of the low heads that
Yeah.
Typically.
Yeah.
DNR has been removing? Okay. Okay.
So just to give you an example for boundaries and kind of how the funding mechanism works, we have an example of Pigeon Creek Watershed Development Commission. Currently, the only member of this commission is Vanderburgh County. However, this watershed is made up of 4 different counties. So the only people who are being assessed are the people in Vanderburgh County and also in the outline of the watershed. However, the members of this commission have the authority to do any works within this watershed. So they could go into Warwick County and do a project, and Warwick County doesn't have a say unless they come and do a public comment. So that's kind of understanding, if you guys didn't want to join, other people could do activity within your counties, and you're not a member to say what you do or don't think of it. So for Flat Rock Haw, this is an outline of the Huck 8. So just a little sliver of Decatur is there. Henry, Fayette, Rush, Shelby, and Bartholomew are all part of it. We did a really, really rough estimate of how much money This watershed would come in if they collected the maximum amounts. So obviously, if they didn't want to, or if not everyone joined, it would be lower. And then because I thought you only have 6% in this Huck 8, we went ahead and did it for the Upper East Fork White, which is a majority of your county, in case you were more interested there to do works. This is just for your information. I know we're focusing on the Flat Rock because other counties are interested in this one. However, a majority of your county lays in the Upper East Fork White. Now, at this point, I don't have any more slides.
Do you have any idea what the acreage count is for the agricultural portion of this?
Do not.
As we talked earlier, when Andy brought this to our first attention, I felt like, I think the idea is good, and joining counties and working on a watershed project, but also my whole concern was the taxation
100%.
and the subjectivity of it, who's paying for, we hear a lot of, well, their water's coming down on my property and flooding my property from, and that, all that is difficult to define, I think, but maybe I'm not educated enough in it to figure that all out. But I think that's, the hard part is, and you even mentioned in here, the double taxing of the property, and then putting it on their property taxes, is that correct? It goes,
Yeah,
yeah. So, that's where I find the difficulty in it.
100%. But I will just say, like, as a watershed, everything that you do, even if you're at the bottom of it versus the top, it's going to affect your neighbors within this area. So if they are trying to improve things at the top part of your watershed, obviously that's going to increase velocity coming down south. And if down south it's going to affect another one, we're all in this together. And watersheds can do, these commissions can focus on more things than just a legal drain can. So to that point, like, it just depends on how you guys view the double taxation and if you guys are going to be using this money for things more that you can do for a legal drain. But it is up to you for the community's need. You guys get to identify that, and we're just here to help you out.
So in here, it mentions one of the potential things that could be done was recreation. What exactly is the purpose that's addressed here for the recreation part of this?
Recreation would be, so if you have a river, you could maybe do like a pavilion or like walking path, biking path, things of that nature, just to make sure the river and recreation and people are getting on there so that they have a better access to it. It's just another way of increasing.
But aren't these all private parcels?
100%. That's a choice that the commission would make. That's
Sure.
not.
And then when it's addressing easements, what would the purpose of easements be?
So that you could do, establish a wetland that, or a preserve or something like that if you wanted to, or do, yeah.
Don't property owners have the ability already to do some type of conservation with their ground as it is now?
Yes, this would be for if the Watershed Development Commission owned land.
Okay.
They cannot put easements on other people's properties.
My biggest thing would be the flood damage reduction in the drainage. That's really the only benefit I see out of this.
And honestly, there's a reason I pulled up the floodplain map. I'm not seeing the concern, or I'm not seeing the information here that would raise a concern for me that we have a major problem here. As far as the fees and everything or the taxes that would be collected here, that would then go towards the commission, but it would go towards the cleaning up of the river and all of, if you have those log jams and things like that.
Log jams, bank stabilizations, you can do USGS studies to understand what the quality is of your water, how fast it's moving, things of that nature. Bridge replacement and removal, and restoring like flood control, so you can do a cost share program. You can even work with your MS4 communities, kind of increase what you guys are already doing.
I mean, don't we already if we have, how you would address the riparian rights of property owners with bodies of water like this, isn't there already a mechanism to hold people accountable for things that are, it's a civil lawsuit? That if your property is causing damage to somebody else,
Have there been lawsuits for log jams that cause flooding? I don't know. I'm saying like in your guys' communities, like, yeah. So it really just depends on who you want to take responsibility for it.
Jeff? We have Commissioner Jeff from Rush County. I know you guys are in this commission, right? Or you're,
We are looking to,
what do you see the benefits? I know you guys have a levee there going through Rushville. You've got more of a significant type of,
the largest portion of our county will be in the watershed.
right,
So there is a major benefit. We do have legal drains, we do have a drainage commission. With 86% of our county being agriculture, it doesn't matter if we tile a field, it's gotta go somewhere.
absolutely.
So that's what we're looking at, you know, if you don't open up the artery, the tiling works just,
So do you have information as far as how they are pulling out the number of acres? So you have a 200-acre field.
yeah, we've got our watersheds set up to be ready. So we have a fund now that's 30 years old. 30 years old, and they did the levy, they did all that. And at that point, the assessment is a penny per acre.
okay.
So, you know, you're seeing the maximum here. We have one that's, you know, right now it's a penny an acre. It's not sufficient with time, inflation, the cost of everything. So that's why we started looking at other options to open up our, you know, we don't want to dump everything on Decatur County because, you know, it's going to start in Henry County. So it's,
Right.
in the recreational part, yes, the kayaking, we do have a couple, we're gonna have more boat ramps. So if there's access or somebody wanted to put in boat ramps for kayaking recreation, that's part of this process too.
Is Fayette, are all these counties in it, or are they being petitioned to be in it?
So they haven't submitted an ordinance yet. They're just in the information collection phase like you are. So
Correct.
they just
Okay.
are kind of figuring out what has to happen, trying to
Okay,
talk with other counties.
all right, right, okay.
Because
Well,
once they do, all the counties will have to submit together.
I think it's, you know, something to look at. I definitely need more information, you know, more discussion, more thought process on it to just jump in and say, yeah, we're in.
100%.
So I appreciate the information, though. That was good. But yeah, I definitely have more questions and more education for me to make a decision on this before we
Yeah,
do this.
and I mean, you guys have 4 different watersheds in your county, so
Right,
I mean, this is just a little sliver of yours. I wanted to just go ahead and throw that one in, just so you guys had an idea that if it's not this one, it could be another. But yeah, anything you'd like to add?
I will say as well, if this is established and you guys decide not to join, you do have the opportunity to join at any time later on.
I don't personally have much of an appetite for it at this point, at least with what I've heard at this point. I don't like so far, I don't like what I'm being presented with as far as what we're doing with private property and the additional taxation. Maybe that opinion changes later, but that's where I'm at right now. I know that there are some community members here. Is there anybody else that would like to address anything as far as
watershed.
watershed in this project? Yes, ma'am? Clay? Yeah, you'll
Yeah,
have to
please.
approach the podium. Yep. And if you can just state your name and then,
I'm Gina Jackson, and I am actually from Shelby County. But I do have a quick question because Shelby County is involved in this proposal as well. I believe you will be coming to Shelby County soon. But a couple of questions. Is it factual that Shelby County would absorb about 75% of the total cost to fund this process? We had learned that number before, but I was wondering if you, let me rephrase my question. Can you give a breakdown of what counties would absorb what percentage of the funding of this proposal? For example, you said Decatur County is 6%.
6% of the watershed, not 6%.
Okay. So how would that funding be broken down if only 6% of Decatur County is affected versus, do we have a number for Shelby County or for Henry County or?
Just looking at that because you have the ordinance has 10% less of the watershed or not. We have one really heavy numbers, that's not really our forte. There is public available information from.
Okay, I think that would be helpful. That would answer quite a few questions as well. That was all.
Thanks.
Thanks. Clay?
All right, I'm here to, not to talk about more information, I'm here to ask you to clearly decide to oppose this, or to vote not to adopt the Watershed Development Commission. Couple high points, I'm not gonna wear you out. Flat Rock River's been around for, give or take, 100,000 years, taking pretty good care of itself all this time. The government's really not done a whole lot to make Flat Rock River a happier place to live. I will comment on the 10%. It's clearly in their rules that 10% of the watershed is supposed to be in your county. Well, it's not. So now we're going to bend it to 6% because Decatur County, they want Decatur County to be a part of this. Some of their purposes, the flood damage. The majority of Flat Rock River is in Decatur County is 25, 35, 40 feet below any developed land. If we have a flood that brings Flat Rock up 25 to 35 feet, Flat Rock River is not our only problem. Drainage and stormwater management, we don't have that issue. Stormwater management is called bottom ground in Decatur County, and the farmers who farm bottom ground knew it was bottom ground when they started farming, and they farm accordingly, and they all do fine. Recreation, I personally don't feel like we should be assessed for recreational activity on Flat Rock River. Water infrastructure, I'm not real sure what that is. It must be the riverbed, and I don't know that the riverbeds needed a whole lot of maintenance over 100,000 years. So very simply, there's not a whole lot of purpose to this Watershed Development Commission except to pile on with 6 other counties or 5 other counties to, I understand Rush County may have a problem. If they dump their water on us, it still doesn't create a problem for us. The tax part, taxes don't go down. The proposal is a maximum of $1. Well, it is today. And with respect to the current commission, we're not always going to be here. And so you guys are conservative with taxation. The next board may not be. Boards 20 years from now may not be. Once you develop this, it's developed. It doesn't go away. Easements, and this is my last statement. A 75-foot easement on both sides of the riverbank lands right in the middle of some people's living rooms. It also, for example, we have a campground, a very successful campground, right along the river. There goes their driveway. So if you have riverfront property and this gets adopted, your property values are severely negatively affected. And I don't really think that's fair that people along the riverbank in a county that has no issue with the way Flat Rock River has performed over the last 100,000 years need to absorb. And that's all I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Yes, sir. If you can just come on up. If you can just state your name for us.
Yeah, Mark Schooler, the Flat Rock River YMCA camp.
Okay.
We got 260 acres along the river. That 75 feet that was mentioned, that's very concerning for us. We've got buildings, programs. We got folks, children from all across the state that come through to enjoy recreation. And to understand that it was implied that somebody could come in and put additional access points for docks, other stuff. That would be concerning for us from a safety perspective. But yeah, it's a beautiful stretch of the river. We have never had the flooding issues that are being referenced. But yeah, just concern on that 75 feet. There's a lot of landowners around here who have significant waterfront property there, so it's unit concerns.
So as far as the flooding goes, because on the south part of your guys' property there along the river, you have that large pavilion.
Yep, so on the far
Like, is it the southeast corner?
east side, yeah, the southeast corner.
Has that ever flooded?
So there, that is down in that's an annual floodplain.
Yep.
And that pavilion that was put in, we shifted away from the use of that. It is used for other programs, and all our development we're working on just now, anything that goes in there, we know it's just seasonal.
Gotcha.
It's a seasonal space. But the rest of the property, I mean, we watch the river rise and fall. But for that one piece, yeah, we know it's floodplain.
Yeah. I think that goes back to Clay, is you know it's a floodplain. I mean, it's been that way.
Yes, ma'am. If you can just state your name for me.
My name is Lynn Paul. I'm the campground, and we do have a lot of property along the campground, and I see that's assessed higher because it's commercial property. My concern more is the data center. If the data center comes in and our water levels go down to nothing, which I've heard happens, what happens to the Flat Rock River then? Right now in the fall, we don't have much water. So the data center's more my concern with
Sure.
Flat Rock River. Because we might be
McDonald's campground?
Pardon me?
McDonald's campground? Is
In
that-
Paradise in St.
Oh,
Paul.
Hidden Paradise, okay.
We have 80 acres there,
All right.
so we'd be taxed quite steeply.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Yeah,
So-
according to this.
The data center that is coming into Greensburg
Mm-hmm.
is Greensburg. Decatur County has no say on that. It was passed by the Greensburg City Council, the mayor, all of that. Decatur County government has nothing to do with that. We have no say in
I'm just
what they
saying,
do,
maybe
what they
there's some
don't do.
protection there somewhere, because I've heard that water goes away,
Sure.
groundwater.
And-
When groundwater's gone, there's no Flat Rock River.
Yep.
That's my opinion.
Thank you.
I don't know, I'm not an expert.
Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Kim Livingston, and I sit on the town board in St. Paul. And I just wanted to add to your discussion with much of St. Paul being affected because of the Flat Rock. We've had major water bill changes already with some things coming along in our area. And I think looking at the way the district is kind of showing up, when I was doing a little research online, I would also urge you to let this one go, at least for now, especially since we know that it's not now or never. Maybe we could see how things develop with Rush County and other areas, and, maybe evaluate further then. So,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Butch, did you get your tile fixed yet?
What, I'm sorry?
Did you get your tile fixed that you
No,
were
it's not
here at our
fixed,
last
but
meeting?
we've met, so
Okay, good.
it took a little longer than I thought it should. But anyway, Harold Wilson, farmer from out at Adams and St. Paul area. My feeling is this thing is another government overreach. I hate to say it, but making some people upset. But it's just another protection of jobs in another government entity. And I served on a Clifty Creek watershed board for several years when that was established. And all I saw happen was we put grant money out for people to do this, do that, the other, and never accomplished anything to help clean up Clifty Creek as far as that was concerned, or lessen the flow. My feeling is it's just another tax to throw on some more people to get more jobs for government. Thank you, goodbye.
Thank you, Butch. Yes, sir.
My name's Ken Ewing, and we own 20 acres on Flat Rock River. And we've been there since '89, and we've had bad floods before, but it cleans itself up. I mean, I have a fence right there on the river, and the most I've ever done is remove some branches and some leaves. Very few logs, and like Clay said earlier, it takes care of itself. And the DNR, I don't want them in my living room. And that's where they're going to be. I mean, 75 feet, that's real close. So that's all I have.
Thanks, Ken.
Gabe, did you have any questions or anything?
I do not. I have the same feelings as you guys, and not a huge appetite for it at the moment.
I'll make a motion that at this point we don't pursue this. Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? All right, moving on to the data center moratorium, Chad Crowder. Morning, Chad.
Morning, how are you guys today?
Very good, thanks.
Awesome. Today I'm going to ask for a moratorium or an outright ordinance to ban data centers. I know right now as you guys look at me, I look very imposing. Most people see my beard. They don't see me. I'm going to let you see me. I'm a husband. I'm a father. I'm a landowner. I'm a veteran. In my unit, we had a saying, it is the job of the strong to protect the weak. It is my job to be strong. In that, I am representing people in this county, even though I am not a part of the county, technically. This moratorium, well, this outright ordinance ban would save farmers. It would save the water, electricity, everything we know about it. As somebody who owns land, I own bees. Electromagnetic radiation, let me back up a little bit. Everything vibrates at a hertz. Everything. You listen to music. Some music is more annoying than others. There's a reason for that. The God hertz, they call it that, is 440. Man chose to turn it down to 360 or 240. It's annoying. It throws off your mental state. Data centers run and have an EMP field around them, and they vibrate. Wildlife don't like it. Bees, it throws them off. They lose direction on where they're going. So they cannot forage and get back to their hive. Water. I have a computer at home. I don't have to fill it up with water. I don't have to make sure it has water in it. Why do they need so much water? I don't know. I'm not an expert. What I do know is when people are threatened with losing something that they have worked hard, it's that old flag that says, "Don't tread on me." I make no threats. But they get pretty protective of what they got. Now, in the ordinance ban, I would ask that there be a commission set up, not a commission, but a committee set up of citizens, at least 2, and committee members, commission members. I would ask that. I would also ask to look to Franklin County, because they've gone through this and they've got a pretty good ordinance. Make no mistake, is that we're talking about the loss of farmland. You get rid of farmers, you get rid of food. You get rid of food, now we live in a country of access and excess. We don't see it. We think, oh, there's always going to be more there, until there isn't. And then we're wondering what happened. We act now, we won't wonder what happened. We will preserve Decatur County as the jewel that it is. And like I said, I'm on the other side of the tracks. But I more identify over here than anything. I'm in that corner and I'm just going, I don't want to be near Shelby County. I want to be in Decatur.
You're off between, what, St. Paul and Waldron, is that right?
Yeah, I'm just like right there. Now, there have been some really bad decisions in Shelby, so.
I mean, even if Shelby County had a data center ban.
Yes.
Where Shelby County, commissioners had said, we don't want data centers here. The city of Shelbyville would still have been able to do what they did.
Yeah, and I
it's
understand
the same
that.
thing here, that
Yeah.
if we do that and Greensburg wants a second one, Greensburg can do that. Or if St. Paul wants to have a data center.
Yep.
And I know that's been floating out there on Facebook. I haven't heard anything. Doug Westerfeld, same thing for you, right, from the APC? Nothing. So, I mean, when you have different municipal boundaries, different rules are applied in those situations. So we can have a ban. It doesn't stop the other incorporated areas from doing something, just to be clear on
Yeah, and I fully understand that they are their own entity. They have the choices that they can make and all of that. But this is for the county itself.
Yep.
And we started an online petition. There are over 900 signatures, and I had some technical issues this morning with my printer. I can get those to you tomorrow morning. That was in 2 weeks. In a week, we got another 100. I am representing those 900 people here. And like I said, the steps you take in this outright ban or moratorium will preserve that. Now, I also know that there's something called Moore's Law. Moore's Law states that technology doubles itself every 18 months. So what you have right now, 18 months from now, is obsolete.
How old is Moore's Law?
Moore's Law was established back in 1976.
I'd say 18 months is, I'd say every 6 months.
Yeah, it's because the speeds have doubled.
I was going to say, 18 months is probably a little too short.
When I just looked it up, the first result I got was, is Moore's Law dead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is,
With
18 months is,
Yeah, that is generous. With AI and faster computers, like Intel, I remember being a boy and seeing an Intel commercial. It had the one ding, and now there's a whole string of music behind it. Every iteration that they had, they added a note to their commercial. If you go back and watch the very first commercial, there's only one note. You watch the very last commercial that they put out, there's a string of music. That's every generation that they are marking with a note. And like you said, 18 months is very, very generous. Life moves fast. Development and innovation run fast. Why now for all the data centers? I have no clue. That follow the money. I don't know. What I do know is that a lot of people don't want this. And we need to protect them. So, any questions? So,
I appreciate your passion in this. I appreciate you speaking to us today. That's what we need, is people to speak up. So I appreciate that.
mm-hmm. And like I said, if you guys do make a committee to look into the ordinances, and I myself am available.
We currently have, we're working on our comprehensive plan. That
Mhm.
is part of the plan for Decatur County. So kind of currently in the process of doing that.
Okay. Good deal.
And we'll be revising ordinances immediately after the completion of the comp plan. So revising, revisiting, creating, all that kind of stuff.
Good deal.
Yep.
Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chad.
Yep.
Okay. At the last meeting, we had passed 2026-14, which was the vacation of a public right-of-way, or public way, up in Clarksburg. That was published, this particular ordinance was published as a 2-meeting ordinance.
Okay.
And so just going to bring it back up again today. And then also, the surveyor had gone in and made a couple of changes on what the description of that public way was, that alleyway that was being vacated. So we have 2026-14A, I think, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Is anyone here to address or would like to speak on the petition that was filed by David and Linda Spurgeon in Clarksburg for vacating the alleyway between their 2 parcels? No? Okay. I'll make a motion that we approve 2026-14A, the revised vacation of the public way.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, sir. Up next, we have Robin Meyer with the Tree City Fall Festival. Or is that just the use of facility? Oh, nope, there's Robin. Okay.
In the orange shirt.
Didn't
Good
see-
morning.
Morning, sir.
Rob.
Robin Meyer, representing the Tree City Fall Festival. I'm currently the vice president. Got a couple of things I'd like to talk about today. First of all, I'd like to request the use of the courthouse area facilities for our fall festival. We've been doing this fall festival since 1979. So it's been a long-standing tradition, and we hope to continue that. The Fall Festival will center all of its activities right here in the downtown square. We've already got permission from the city to block off streets and whatever, as we've done before. Most of you I see around here have been there before, and we appreciate your attendance and hope to see you again. The main stage will be located over next to Pickers and First Financial Bank, as it's been in the past. And we set out about 160 different vendors in the downtown area, many of them located right here on the courthouse square. So first thing I'd like to do is ask your permission to use the facilities again this year. The festival will be on September 18th and 19th.
I think, did you fill that form
Yes.
out online, Rob?
Yes, and I sent the
Insurance and
I've
all
got
that.
the-
COI to Patty, so yes.
Perfect, all right.
All right, very good. I'll make a motion that we approve the request for use of facilities for the Fall Festival.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries.
Very good. Thank you. If I may also continue briefly, I'm also here, I'd like to ask the county for some financial support or sponsorship of the Fall Festival. Like I said, the Fall Festival's been going on since 1979. It's the biggest draw in the county. Last year, with the help of the Visitor Center, we established we had about 20,000 individuals on the downtown square in just those 2 days, and that number grows every year. It's growing significantly, so we think we're doing a good job. The Fall Festival Committee is made up of 21 individuals. We're all local people. We got teachers, lawyers, bankers, factory workers, just a lot of common folks. And our goal is the same as yours as commissioners, and that's to make our lives better, everyone in Decatur County, bring people to the county, make people enjoy our what we have here in Decatur County. So we'd like to ask the county for a sponsorship. Right now for 2026, I've got about 19 financial sponsors secured. That's a little over $20,000 so far. But it's still early. We got a couple of months. Last year we raised right at $50,000 to sponsor the event, and that's about what it takes to put on this show. We do not charge any admission, so it's totally funded by vendors and the cost for them to purchase a booth, and also to our sponsors. We've got some new sponsors this year, so I know it's growing. It's getting bigger and bigger. People are more excited about it. We've got 3 or 4 new sponsors that are over $1,000 a piece this year, so we're excited about that. Last year, we also had an after-action plan with EMA, and that was the first time we've done that. We brought a lot of organizations together. Dispatch was there, Sheriff's Department, police, fire. So we spent a lot of time, a lot of energy trying to make sure that as this event grows, it's safe, it's secure, and it's done well for everybody. So we appreciate everybody's help in doing that. So just some of the costs I'd like to let you know about before I sit down. Our bands, we're usually in the $18,000 to $20,000 for what we pay bands. Bands are very expensive to get here, but they're also a great draw. They bring a lot of people in. The sound, the stage, we're about $11,000 for the sound and stage. We got a bigger stage last year, so we're able to host bigger bands and bigger things on the stage. Our insurance alone is over $6,500 just to insure this 2-day event. So that's just some of the expenses we have. I'd like to share some of those with you. But anyway, we would appreciate if the county be so inclined to be a sponsor of the event. The city of the Greensburg is a sponsor as well. They also donate street department to help us set things up and close things down. Also security with the Greensburg Police Department. So we want to thank them and appreciate what they do. But we would like to ask the county for their support as well.
What would be your request for a monetary donation or sponsorship?
I would ask for $2,500 if the county is so inclined. And I'm glad to answer any questions from anyone.
Let me look into that first, Ryan.
Okay. I in full disclosure, need to abstain because I am on the
Yep.
Fall Festival Committee.
Let me look into that a little bit before we go any further on the sponsorship side there, Robin.
Don't need an answer today, but I just wanted to present the opportunity.
Very good. I
Well,
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, up next, we have Project We Care with Cleo Duncan.
Cleo. Morning, Cleo. Thanks, Rob.
We just celebrated the 250th year of our great nation, and we celebrated with gatherings of family and friends, parades, fireworks. We enjoy all these freedoms, but there are many people in Decatur County who are away from home right now in the service of our country. And Project We Care is a project to bring people together in Decatur County to send care packages to our men and women in the service. One way we can, again, send appreciation is through the care packages. Also, in these are letters that we have from children, thanking them, telling them they're in our prayers. One group made small rectangular folded flags that fit in your pocket with a saying that you are in our prayers and we appreciate you. The Gideons and Reverend Dawn Barnes have donated pocket Bibles to be put in the packages. We've had an outpouring of support from the community, and we have plenty of things to fill our boxes. And I want to especially thank the Decatur County Community Foundation because they are going to, through a grant, pay for the shipping of our care packages all over the world, or even it's not only our service members abroad, it's also our service members here in the United States. So that's where we are at this point. And hopefully we can get them in the mail the end of this week. But we also need some able-bodied people to help get the boxes to the post office because I can't lift anything. So if there's anybody here who would volunteer to help, we are at the branch and in that back meeting room, and we'll be assembling the boxes on Thursday, this Thursday, and hopefully we'll get them to the post office Thursday afternoon. We'll be boxing them in the morning, and so if anybody, many hands make light the work. So if you're available and want to come, we sure would appreciate you. Also, going further than this, we've been celebrating our 250th anniversary. And we live in a very giving community. Why can't we make this a new tradition for Decatur County and do something for our military every 4th of July or every July, because July is Armed Services Month. So if there is any way that we can do this with your help, as far as not monetarily, but with your support, your endorsement of doing this and encouraging everybody in our community to be thankful for those who are ready to defend us for the freedoms that we enjoy.
Thank you, Cleo.
It's a great endeavor. It's a great project.
Well, I'm going to be 85 years old, and I don't see myself going in the long distance, but we need to make this a project that our community, our Decatur County community, is ready to embrace. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
okay.
All right, is there somebody here for On Angels Wings?
Eagles.
Okay.
Eagles.
On Eagles. On Eagles Wings. So we have a use of facilities request here for the day of August 29, 2026.
Actually, a road closure.
And, right. So Millhausen Road and Sebo Lane, 7:30 to 10. I'm guessing those are AMs there.
Yes, they are.
We have a certificate of liability insurance. This is for their 5K, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. Any discussion? Any questions?
No, I'll make a motion to accept the road closure.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? All right. Motion carries. I was contacted by a landowner south of Lake McCoy. They had informed me that a creek crossing on their property had been washed out after the lake was drained. And so they were inquiring of me how they can have their creek crossing repaired. And I know as far as the county's involvement on the Lake McCoy process, it was an emergency or emergent situation in which the information that the county was being presented was that it was basically an immediate risk of failure. Is that right, Mike? And so the highway department had hauled in some stone and had done some other work, but the Lake McCoy Conservancy had ultimately been the ones to have voted and approved the draining of Lake McCoy. And they had hired another company also to come in and actually do the work on breaching the dam to lower the water level. The Conservancy had also signed a release with the county, a liability release, and that any other financial costs that were incurred from the dam being breached and the water being drained would be on the Conservancy, not on the county. So at this point, I wanted to bring it up.
I
See if there
wonder,
was.
Jeremy, this one individual has an issue with his crossing. I wonder how many downstream, if there's more than one, if there's, how that, if he's the only one with this.
I haven't heard. This is the first that I've heard of it.
Okay.
So this was the first I was contacted
It'd be interesting
yesterday.
to see downstream, whatever, was there more than that? Was there a washout of other things that we are unaware of? I don't know. I haven't had anybody come to me and voice their concern on that.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything either. This was the first contact that I've had for any other property damage that was caused by Lake McCoy and the Conservancy draining upon.
And I sympathize with if that did cause it. I think looking into the Conservancy and seeing if they can help out with some stone or with some grading or whatever needs to be done with that individual. I think either we can reach out to them or he can reach out to them to look into it.
Yeah, so Lake McCoy has already reimbursed the county, I think it was $30,000.
Yes.
For the work that the highway department had done. There's another
29,000.
29,000. And so Lake McCoy, the Conservancy, has actually obtained funding to then pay off the highway department for the stone and the man hours, and then also the additional excavating company that came in and did the work, as well as the company that provided the pumps. So I think that at this point, with the agreement between the Conservancy and the county, that homeowner should probably contact the Conservancy. Your thoughts?
I agree. I think it's on the Conservancy for sure. I mean, if we can facilitate it or help it or expedite it, I'm okay with that as well, but I believe, they are the responsible party for breaching the dam. They made the agreement to breach the dam, and with our indemnity and liability agreement with them, really kind of falls back onto the Conservancy.
I know Bev Rivera has worked very closely with the Conservancy. That may be a good first contact, yeah.
Okay.
Gabe, anything on that point?
Oh, I agree. So with Conservancy's approval to do it.
All right, anything else from you gentlemen? Yes, Cleo.
I'm good.
It is still not too late to submit names and addresses of service members who you think would appreciate the survey boxes. We got so many donations that we're able to do more boxes. So if you could get those to me as soon as possible, we'd love to help even more people.
Going around the room.
I was going to, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Brian, anything from EDC?
That's just the last meeting. They are talking about possibly providing our region with
Okay. Sheriff, anything?
No, sir.
Doug? Tim? Hi, Roger. Didn't even see you there until I was going down the line. Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Roger.
Good morning. I'm Roger DeMond from Adams Township. I've always heard you shouldn't let a good microphone go to waste, so I promised myself I wasn't even going to say anything this morning. First of all, thank you to the Commissioners and the Fair Committee for the improvements out at the 4-H horse and pony facilities. We asked for one simple thing, a dry arena. We got a new barn, so wonderful. And in the deal, we got a 4-H fair for the horse and pony folks with no rain. I'm not sure the commissioners had total responsibility for that, but thank you.
That was divine intervention.
Divine intervention. Whatever, thank you. I would like to throw one more thing in, and I didn't mean to sneak this in, but I will anyhow, is on the data center issue. I know how emotional of an issue that is to the whole community. I hear some words that bothers me in the way government functions. I think I heard that it's a done deal and the commissioners in the county has nothing to say about it. I wish somebody would just stand up and tell the community that if it's a done deal, it's a done deal, and then everybody can quit doing petitions and everything else. But I also hear this thing about a comprehensive plan, and it's my understanding that the comprehensive plan does have some things that makes the data center concept a little bit uncomfortable. And I know we're getting a new comprehensive plan written. I hope that isn't just a step to automatically make the data center thing and other such things feasible. So I think sometimes government, I know the general community has very little understanding of how government functions. Most days I don't know either. I've had some people try to explain it to me, but I do wish it would just become more obvious some of the decisions that are being made as, anything from and I'll step on a toe, but a popcorn project to a jumping bison to a Happy Northern Farms or whoever. we don't know what those things are. I just wish things could be more transparent, so the community could have input into it. I do have a vested interest in it because I'm a taxpayer. And these decisions, even though it's a city project, they are going to impact me and my community. They're going to impact our schools. They're going to impact our fire departments. They're going to impact a lot of other people. So it may be a city decision, but we do have a little bit of a say-so in it, even though I don't know that we have any control over the decision. So anyhow, that's my...
Roger, just thinking about the comprehensive plan, we've had multiple public forums and open
Yes.
for people to come and voice, and we get very little input, very little. And it's a little disappointing, to be honest with you.
I understand. I've been there several times.
Yeah, so that's what's
Yeah.
kind of disappointing when we open up a comprehensive plan and we have public input and two people show up.
And a lot of input happens after the decisions are already made.
Well, sometimes we need that input to make decisions.
Yeah, I know.
And I think sometimes there's some, I don't know what it is, apathy, I'm not sure.
Well, I think it was an old guy called Thomas Jefferson that said a good democracy only works when you have an educated
public
population.
Right.
And I'm not sure we've been totally educated.
I agree with that.
But, you know, people only want to know a lot of times after it's already done. And a lot of times we put our faith in our elected officials to do our bidding for us. And so there's the onus on you guys. So anyhow.
I think in the comp plan, though, if I remember right, and Larry, you've read it, Doug, you've read it, Tim, Brian, I think the wording from that comp plan was that is it going to be a discouraged use? Is that where?
That terminology was a lot of the discussion in the last meeting. Really kind of, at this stage, we're very much fine tuning, so what word gets used, I don't want to jump ahead because that's still a little bit. But the subject of data center was discussed a lot, just to be clear. And the final wording and what have you will be out within 30 days for the public's viewing. But it was tremendous diplomacy on the part of a heavy topic, and I thought the steering committee did a wonderful job of handling that subject of the data center, along with some other things that need to be addressed in the county. And it was a heck of a good group and wonderful discussions at the meetings.
Yep.
It is being addressed in the comp plan.
Yeah, and I should have started my statement with, I don't know that I'm against data centers. I'm just against decisions being made where I don't feel like I had any input in the process. So thank you for the time.
Thanks, Roger.
Tricia, anything from clerk's office? Diane, treasurer's office?
We're in the process of the tax sale listing going to the paper. I'm not sure what the actual date is on me now. And then we sent in personal property to the collection agency. It's in demand where they get 60 days to pay in full before it gets certified to state.
Very good. Mike, anything from EMA? Oh. Yes, ma'am.
I'm Neoma Crowder. Chad is my husband. Just a couple questions with I guess I'm a little confused. I thought you were going to be voting against the data center, like a moratorium, or like voting for a moratorium for Decatur County against data centers. Would we have to initiate a vote?
Well, so
Or ask
we don't
for-
even have anything written up. So I can't issue a moratorium on something where I don't even have anything written up.
Oh, okay.
So like we have an alternative energy moratorium in place right now. And so we had to have our attorney work and draft something before we could ever even issue it. And there's specific statutory guidelines in which we had to follow and had to lay those out in the actual moratorium before we could vote. So right now we have nothing written up, so we don't have anything to actually vote on for a moratorium. Yep.
Thank you for explaining that.
Yep.
And could I just ask the steering committee, like, if you're doing the comprehensive plan, revising it, to have the wording as as a complete ban. Take out data centers and, like the citizens need protected.
Sure.
And so,
So with the comp plan, I mean, I think that it's more of a guiding document instead of an ordinance, which would, I think, have your prohibition that you're wanting. A comp plan can make recommendations, but it's not actually your rule of law.
it's not a legal document.
Correct.
Yes.
And so, I mean, you can have in there that we don't want it, and there could still be an ordinance in place to allow it. And so I think that long-term, when you're looking at where things can go, I think outright banning anything is probably not a great idea. I mean, if you look at what a computer used to look like versus what they look like now, there's a whole lot of things that have changed in them, right?
Yeah,
So, I mean, if you look down the line, like with what he was talking about, 18 months of development, do data centers in the future go from, being these colossal, warehouse-type buildings down to something that's the size of a house?
Yes.
Does their water usage go from, X number of gallons down to nothing? I don't know. So outright banning something, I think, in a guiding principle document, I don't think is necessarily the best practice from my point of view. Now, I'm not the only decision maker, but that's my perspective, is that things evolve. And so having an outright ban on about anything, I don't think is a great idea, just because of those leaps in technology. But again, that's my perspective.
I mean, I get what you're saying. I would just propose that if we ban it, it's a protection for the community.
Sure.
If things evolve, as you said, maybe the data centers are much smaller at some point. I'm pretty sure there would be amendment
Could be.
that
Absolutely.
that would allow them to come back in. So.
Yep.
And I'll go back to the comp plan.
Mhm.
It is not it's a draft. It's not finalized.
Yes.
So when it comes back for public review and to look at it and to make recommendations and comments, that's an excellent opportunity for the
Community
public,
members,
the community members, to voice their opinion.
Yep.
And I'll reiterate this. It's disappointing when we open that up and have public opinion and one or two people show up. And
I think
and maybe Roger's comment is that you already feel like it's a done deal, so why even show up? I don't know. I don't feel that way, but I think that it's a draft. It's not done.
I think there's so many rumors
Yeah.
floating around. People don't really know what it is, and the public is really just learning how to become involved, honestly, because we haven't been involved. So bear with us.
The rumor mill on Facebook is something else.
Yeah, it is.
Yep. No, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
We hear what you guys are saying, and I think it will be addressed as far as where the comp plan goes. And yep. Gary.
I just wanted to give a quick update on the EMA storage building. The project is still alive. Andy has come out and looked at what we want to cut off to add to the sheriff's part, so that's supposed to be happening. I talked to Barnes last week. They're supposed to work on it this week. When they get it ready to go to the state, they're going to give it to the city first, because they've been having a little bit of problem getting their projects passed by the city. So they want to get the city to approve it before they send it to the state, so they don't have to do it 2 or 3 times. I'm hoping to talk
Good
to...
move. That's a good move.
Okay, and I'm hoping to talk to Dan again today. He said he sent me an email that I didn't quite understand about taking the electric and the gas over to the sheriff's building was going to maybe increase the cost of getting the prints done. I mean, it is what it is. I think they're having a little trouble finding where they stubbed out from the sheriff's building to go to where the pods supposedly at one time were going to go behind the sheriff's building. So the old jail commander told me that there's supposedly it's already been stubbed out for electric and gas. So we're kind of looking at that. But I basically just wanted to give you guys an update on what was going on with it. It's still working on it.
Okay.
Thank you, Gary.
Thank you.
Leanne, anything from communications? All right. Well, I would entertain a motion to recess.
So moved.
All right, we are recessed. Thanks, folks.